I am not one to share many personal stories about myself. I would not be here today typing out this story if I didn't think that someone could give me an explanation. I recently turned 21 and finally had saved up enough money to move out of my parents' house and into my own apartment. At first, everything was going great. I had everything set up the way I wanted it. And I was enjoying the freedom that came with living on your own. The only bad thing about it was, I thought the upstairs neighbors were very lively. I would hear them walking around at all hours of the night, and I was actually happy to see them go only 2 months later. I thought that after they left, everything would be so much better, not that I would not have the neighbors waking me up with their stomping all over the house. At that time, I would just put pillows over my head, especially when it got so loud that it sounded like they were right outside the bedroom door, and not a floor above. It was not until the 3 nights after they moved out that I realized it would not be that easy. I was woken up again around 2 in the morning, to the same sound of the stomping steps. I could not ignore how close they sounded anymore. I could not brush it off as the loud neighbors upstairs, because the apartment still lay empty in wait of the incoming of new tenants. This happened for another 3 days. Every night I would find myself awake at 2:30 in the morning, listening to what sounded like someone paced the hall right in front of my bedroom door. It still happens every morning at 2:30, no matter what steps I take to try to make myself sleep through the night. Medications, meditation, white noise machines, it doesn't matter what it is, I always find myself awake at the same time. After a while, things were getting harder to ignore, but I always broke them down to myself just hearing things. Other than the footsteps and the occasional movement of objects that I knew were not in the same place that I had left the night before. Nothing really out of the ordinary was happening. This was true until last night. I was about to go to bed because I had to be at work early this morning. As I was brushing my teeth, I thought I saw something move out of the corner of my eye. I glanced over my shoulder and just brushed it off quickly when nothing was there. Again, I brushed it off as nothing but. When I turned back to face the sink to finish what I was doing, my eyes locked with this black shadow that was rocking back and forth on the wall behind me. I looked back and forth from the mirror to the wall no less than 6 times before I confirmed the unsettling fact that the shadow was only visible through the mirror. I stood there horrified, and my toothbrush dropped to the ground as I watched the shadow morph into the shape of a distorted human. Throwing my hands up, I turned around as fast as I could, but again, there was nothing there. I rubbed my eyes hard, thinking to myself that I need more sleep. I thought I was just letting the noise of the house settling at night get to me. Retrieving the discarded toothbrush, I turned back to the mirror and was met with something that I still cannot explain. Standing directly behind me, as its own individual being, was the same dark shadow as before. Frozen in my spot, I watched in horror as I watched the being morph again. Slight features started to appear right above my shoulder. The shadow seemed to form holes for eyes, a sharp-pointed nose, and a long, ragged, toothy smile. The air around me felt heavy, cold, like I was suffocating in the air, where I had just been able to breathe fine. I mustered up the strength to turn around